I am asked all the time by both buyers and sellers, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? Now, it might seem funny that a seller actually asks, is it a good time to sell? Because everyone has heard those stories about somebody that had their house listed for X amount of money and gets a crazy amount over that amount of money. So why would a seller be asking, is now a good time to sell? Well, they usually ask for a really big reason. They really want to know, should I sell now? Or is the market going to continue to rise? And should I wait and get more money? Or is the market going to crash and I need to sell now before it crashes? Now, when buyers ask this, they usually want me to tell them, no, go ahead, wait, because the market is going to change and the prices are going to come down. Oof, I wish I could tell you that, but I really can't. Now, I know everybody wants to be able to time the market. I mean, I do too, but let's face it, it's impossible. But what we can do is we can use the data and the analysis to somewhat time when to buy and when to sell. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're also going to talk about maybe some changes that are coming towards the end of the year, into next year. We're going to talk about all of that. So everyone has heard about how low our inventory is. I mean, it's not a secret. And I've been talking about it on my channel since the beginning of the year about how we started off 5% lower this year in 2022 than we did in 2021. And in 2021, it was already really low. So 2022 has been extremely challenging for buyers to buy, and sellers that are looking to cash out, they've been doing that. Now, the problem is for sellers is that for those that want to cash out, they really need to know where they're going. They need to know what the value of their home is. They also need to know what the price is going to be for what they're going to buy. So that in and of itself in this market has been extremely challenging for sellers as well. All of these things just further exacerbate our supply issue because in a normal market, sellers would put their house on the market knowing that they had some time to find a house to buy. And if they found the house to buy, they could write a contract with it contingent on their house selling. Can't do that right now. Won't work. So it's just lessening the inventory that we have in our market because sellers that are wanting to cash out have to figure out where they're going to go. I just met with a client of mine the other day who is in that exact predicament. They bought their house probably about 5 years ago. They love their house, but they also see what the value is of their house now and they think, oh my gosh, it'd be perfect. We could sell it. We could move into a little bit better location. They love their house, but they want to be in a little bit different location. But I've talked to them and I've said, gosh, you know what? Here's what it's going to cost you to move into a house in the location you're looking at. It's not going to be a great fix for them. So is it a great fix for some? Totally. And I highly suggest for sellers that are looking at doing this to absolutely look into this. But you really have to look at everything, not just what the value of the house is. You have to look at the whole thing. Where are you going to go? What is it going to cost you to get there? And then make the decision of what you're going to do. And by the way, those conversations I have usually on a weekly basis because sellers really do want to sell. Now, for buyers right now, especially since interest rates have started to go up, they're really questioning about two things. So the first question that they usually ask is, are prices going to come down? So it's that question of, should I buy now or should I wait? Because you know something that the prices are going to come down. I've answered this question on many other videos on my channel, and I'm going to stick with my answer. And that is no. Prices are not going to come down. In fact, at the end of February, the Cromford Market Index said this: there are still many ill-informed observers predicting falling prices in the near term. They are very much mistaken. And the number two question is, should I really buy now? And to that, I say yes. Take a look at what I just said from the Cromford Market Index. Ill-informed observers. Those people are not in the market day in and day out. Our prices have risen drastically over the past few years in Arizona, but so has the entire landscape of jobs and housing. It's all changed so drastically. With a more diverse job market bringing high-paying jobs here, it has further sustained our price growth in Arizona, and it has continued to do so. Now, I'm not going to say that we are not moving towards some affordability issues here in the Phoenix Scottsdale area. However, with all of the changes that we have seen, all of these things have supported our price increases, and it's looking like they're going to continue. So for those looking to buy a house, now is a great time to buy, because if you do wait, you will likely be paying not only a higher purchase price, but also a higher interest rate, which is overall going to make your payment higher. Right now, our interest rates have risen about a point since the beginning of the year. And we are just over about 4%. And last year, the Fed said that they were going to raise our interest rates about 3 to 4 times in 2022. Now, I have started hearing faint whispers of what's going on over with the conflict in the Ukraine, that maybe they're going to hold off on some of those things. Again, it's a slight whisper, but it is something to definitely keep your eye out on. The bottom line is that if you wait to buy, you are going to be spending more money. Take a look at this chart showing you the average list price from specific zip codes from 2019 to 2022. Just take a look at some of these. 85253 is Paradise Valley, which is the top one on the list. They jumped from a $3 million average list price to a $7 million average list price. Then you have some zip codes in the North Scottsdale area like 85255, whose 2019 average list price was $1.8 million, and 2022 average list price is 5.8. Now, the one thing to note about this is that obviously we're looking at averages, and if we were looking at the median, that price would obviously drop. But the other thing to note about this is that because our listings are so low, the actual data points are very small. That group is very small. So the bulk of the pending sales that we have right now are anywhere from about that $900,000 price point to about that $2 million price point, especially in that North Scottsdale area. So those are the houses that are off the market. So of course we're going to have that big spread, but it's not something to look away from because our prices have increased so drastically. But the reality is that we now have 28 zip codes with an average list price of over $1 million. That is 20 more zip codes than 3 years ago. So when it comes to looking at all these numbers and how did we get here, it always comes back to lack of supply. So buyers, the biggest thing for you to know is that it is going to be challenging, but stick with it. So make sure you're also working with a real estate agent that is your advocate, one that is out there hunting for you, finding new homes. It will happen. You will find a home of your dreams. One of the questions I get about our supply all the time also is, why is it staying so low? Well, the reality is that the influx of some of our homes usually comes from new home construction. The problem is that from the boom that we had, they really stopped building. Now, in the last few years, they're doing everything they can to try to keep up, but with our supply chain issues, it is not in their favor. I know one new construction community that was supposed to deliver 6 homes at the end of 2021, but because of the supply chain issues, they were not delivered until 2022. Now, this is a big, nationally, publicly traded home building company. That is huge for their stockholders. Couple this with sellers that are wanting to sell because they want to take advantage of all of the appreciation in their home, but they don't know where they're going to go. And so those homes are now also not coming on the market. It's just a domino effect, and it's something that I don't know when it's going to end. So for anybody out there that thinks that they're overbuilding, because I know there's a few people that are out there saying that there's a flood of new construction coming onto the market and it's going to kill our market. To that, I'm going to say the same thing that I say to the people that think that there's a flood of shadow inventory of foreclosures. It's just not happening. Okay, so tell me about the changes, right? You said you're going to talk about changes. I do see some changes coming, but it's probably not what you're wanting or what you're expecting. I do think that we are going to see a flattening towards the end of this year, maybe into 2023, but prices are not going to drop. The reality is that this last year in 2021, the Phoenix Scottsdale market saw about a 32% appreciation. That is not something that can be sustained year over year over year. So we are going to see a flattening. Is it going to happen right now? No. It's going to happen later in this year, maybe into the 2023 market. So for you sellers, if you are thinking about selling and taking advantage of all the appreciation you've gotten in your home, I would do it sooner rather than later. I know I said prices aren't going to go down, but what I do think is going to happen, we are going to see that flattening, and I think we're going to then start seeing some more inventory come on the market. And I think it's going to start sitting. At that point, I don't think we're going to see as many multiple offers. We're not going to see waiving of appraisals. We're not going to see all of those other things that we're seeing right now. So for sellers, you're going to be competing against a few more homes. As it is right now, our average days on market is about 7 days. Now, I'm going to say this because you need to know this. 7 days, that's kind of a misnomer, because the reality is that people are putting their house on the market and then they're waiting, say, 3 to 4 days, and they're saying, we're not going to respond to offers until that 3rd or 4th day. and then they're responding to the offer, and then they're getting their house under contract. So even though we're saying that homes aren't going under contract for about 7 days right now, I believe it's really closer to 3 to 4. But I think what we're going to see is we're going to start seeing days on market creep up like we did towards the end of 2021, which was at about 10 or 11 days. I know that doesn't sound like a crazy big difference. However, in the end of 2021, I had a few of my buyers that I was finally able to negotiate on price. We were able to negotiate on repairs. We were able to negotiate on a few other items that right now it's just not happening if you really want the house. So for buyers, I know it probably sounds great. Oh my gosh, we're going to have more things to choose from. I'm going to wait. I'm going to just wait it out and just see what I can get. I caution you for that because like I said, our prices are going to continue to rise until we get to that leveling off period. So what does that mean to you? I believe it could add another $70,000 to $80,000 on your ultimate purchase price, not to mention where the interest rates go. I don't think it's a smart idea. I know it's challenging right now. I would highly suggest though that if you are looking to buy, I would get in the market and I would get in the market now. I hope this video has been helpful. I know it seems crazy to say get in the market, it's bananas and you're gonna pay over the list price, but I promise you, you will be happy that you did instead of waiting. So again, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free, reach out, call me, email me, text me, post a comment down below. If you know somebody that this video would be helpful for, please pass this along. Make sure to share it with them. As always, I thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.